It is Monday, April 6th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. It's good to have you back on the left coast, brother. You good?
I'm very happy to be home in the studio. I don't know, just back in my own bed.
Yeah, the
barbecuing and my own grill, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm happy, man.
And consuming baseball the way you should, back at the Plouffe Chateau. And that is so important because, gosh almighty, it was only the second full weekend of baseball, and we had so much stuff that we'll see. We're going to try to get to anything and everything that happened this weekend. But we start off with the tip of the cap, and what a wonderful weekend it was for the Chicago White Sox. Not only did they sweep the defending American League champion Toronto Blue Jays, but something big happened to one of the guys on their broadcast.
2005 World Series winning manager Ozzie Guillen will be honored on Saturday, August 8th.
I know that bobblehead.
With a special ceremony retiring his number 13 uniform.
No way.
The shortstop who played for 13 seasons with the White Sox will be the 13th player in franchise history to have his number retired and first manager.
Oh, that is amazing.
Mr. Ozzie Guillen, your legacy will be forever etched.
That is one of his former players and now broadcast partner, Scott Podsednik, making the announcement. This was during the game they did it. The whole stadium could hear it, and you could see how emotional Ozzie is.
That's awesome. He means a lot to that franchise. Player, and then as a manager, he was just one of those guys. I felt like that. People like there's not a lot of people love their manager. They loved their manager when Ozzie was the guy, and there was a lot of him versus Gardy. I got to see a lot of it up close and personal, so I was really familiar with it. Him and Hawk battling back and forth, and now he's part of that hilarious post game crew.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done a lot for the organization, and happy for him.
Yeah, I worked with him a couple of years at Fox Saturday Baseball. He did the postseason coverage, and he was great. I mean, one of a kind. I know there's some people that he rubs the wrong way, and I get all that. He's, he can be abrasive at times. He is obviously extremely opinionated, but people forget, we talk about the Red Sox and the drought that they broke in 2004. Well, a year later, the Chicago White Sox broke one of their own, and he was the guy that was the manager to make it happen. So, congrats, Ozzie. And I love that he snuck it in on August 8th. He goes, another bobblehead day? It was great. Very funny. Very, very funny. All right, so let's get to it. There's a reason I'm wearing an Angels hat today. Man, oh man, it was truly a field of dreams for Joe Adell Saturday against the Seattle Mariners. It was one of a lifetime defensive efforts I don't think we had ever seen before.
No balls and one strike. And here's a drive out to right from Raleigh. Adell's back near the wall. He leaps, and he caught it! Joe Adell! There's a drive to right. Adell is back. He's at the wall. He leaps up. He got another one! Whoa. Joe Adell, what a night!
Behind the plate with the challenges. J.P. Crawford into the corner. And Adell, there's no way. There's no way. Joe Adell is having the night of his life. He went into the crowd and just robbed his third home run.
The last one, definitely, I got one in the game yesterday that was a lot similar, so I wanted to make sure I got back there, and then once I got there, I had a chance, so it's crazy.
Unbelievable, Joe. Enjoy it with your teammates and your family. The Joe Show, everybody.
Let's go.
Anyway, Erica Watson, the Joe Show. I mean, we're showing pictures. For those of you that are already only, first of all, please hop on our YouTube channel so you can see all of the video and all the pictures of this, because I don't even know what to say other than what the hell happened.
He was being mean to some Mariners right there because Cal Raleigh's been struggling, Josh Naylor's been struggling, and J.P. Crawford just came off the IL. He's got a guy signed to an extension right behind him, and he robbed all three of those guys in the same game. I don't know, man. Just an incredible defensive effort, and it made it so much better because they won the game 1-0.
Right.
On a Zach Neto homer in the first inning. So he's preserving that lead 3 times in the game. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a special night for him. And then the picture that the lady in the crowd got from behind it's going to win picture of the year. Like that's sporting picture of the year already. And it was from some lady's iPhone.
Kaylee Krause is her
name.
Shout out Kaylee.
This is incredible right there.
It's unbelievable. That is your picture of the year. There's, I love all of the photographers in our business. They grind, they work, they hang out in those little photo areas, which are tough. You got foul balls flying past your dome. That is unquestionably the picture of the year in baseball.
So good.
It's great. It is great. Sam Blum, who covers the Angels for The Athletic, reported, at least according to Inside Edge, that the most home run robberies last year was 4 by a single player, and Joe Adele almost lapped the field in a single game.
Oh, all year. I was like,
all
4
year
in a game. What?
No, four for a year.
Oh, man. Is it Denzel Clark? Is that him? It's got to be.
It didn't give a name. So if somebody wants to throw that in the comments, here's the thing. Couple things. First of all, we're looking at the earlier catch against Naylor. Remember a couple years ago, they changed the rule in Anaheim where that wall was in play. Ball hits off the wall. That ends up being a double or a triple or whatever. If it takes a really funky bounce and inside the park home run. Then they put the yellow line. We're like, that is so cheesy. Really? We're going to put it in the middle of a wall, and if it's on top of the yellow line, it's a homer? Well, Saturday night does not happen without the advent of that rule.
Yeah, I think a lot of people call for that as well throughout the game. Like, let's give these guys a chance to rob a homer because that is one of the funnest plays to watch. So, like, I'm kind of in. Like, look, obviously you're gonna have some parks that aren't gonna change. Like, the wall's the wall; it is what it is. But I'm kind of in for the outfielder to have the ability to go make plays like this because we get highlights like this.
Yeah, it always felt weird. It certainly in the beginning when a ball would bang off that wall, you'd be like, why isn't that just in play? Why can't we play it? But once again, because we've now made the adjustment, baseball, or at least the Angels have made a rule change, we got Saturday night, which was fantastic. The other thing is, Joe Adele, if you remember, was a horrific defender. Horrific defender when he first came up. In fact, do you remember in 2020 when he was in Texas and he was near the wall and the ball popped out of his mitt and went over the wall for a 4-base error? We're showing it right now. This is when we were in the COVID season. He's a good 5 feet from the wall, and it launched out of the palm of his hand and goes over the wall for the rare 4-base error. What number is he wearing? 58 back then?
Yeah, that was not. Those were some unsteady hands right there.
Oh gosh, look at him, and he has worked religiously with your former teammate, 9-time Gold Glover, and Torrey Hunter out there. Torrey said that was the best defensive game he's ever seen, and it's hard to come up with anything better. The Mariners, for their Sunday game plan on the chalkboard or the whiteboard, don't hit the ball to Joseph Adele. That was funny. Good stuff.
That's
good stuff. It was great. And also, Aaron Goldsmith, who does a great job on the Mariners broadcast. What an amazing call on that last one. Joe Adele's having the night of his life. It's good stuff, man. There are some people critical saying, you know what? It shouldn't be a catch. It should be like the NFL where you have to get feet down. Feet should start on the ground if you're touching the ball instead of just being in the field of play when it starts. And then if you get carried over, it should be a home run if your feet aren't on the ground. I don't like that.
To me, like he robbed that homer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
If you catch it after you've gone over the fence, obviously not. But if you jump from
a field of play,
I'm trying to think like if somebody leapt up, never touched the wall, and just like jumped up, like say in like Fenway is a good example of that. There's that really short wall. The Rays in Tropicana in left field have that really short wall in left. Like if you jumped up and didn't touch the fence and caught it, is it a homer? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah. You're saying that because he grazed the wall out there, that's part of the field of play. But you're saying that if he jumped over it and didn't touch any part of the field of play,
that seems like a homer to me. I don't know why.
Let's not rob ourselves of one of the great memories of this season already. That was really cool. And I'll get to see Joe Adele tomorrow. I'm going to go out to Angel Stadium for the first time this year, go do some content with the Angels and with the Braves in town. That was good stuff, man. God, I still can't get over that picture. Can you give me Kaylee's picture one more time, Dan, before we go off of this topic? Such an amazing shot.
It's crazy. And the video of her taking it, too, it's pretty cool.
Wow, that's so good. So good. Yeah, you know what? Let us know your favorite defensive play. Baseball, you can throw it in the comments. I've got my Kenny Lofton catch off of B.J. Surhoff, where he went backward.
Pretty good.
I actually think I have the bobblehead somewhere around here.
Ben Revere has some of my favorite pieces, too.
Ben Revere. Gary Matthews Jr. had a great one with his back to the wall. Helped get him part of the contract with the Angels.
Kevin Pillar in Toronto.
Yeah. You can throw in.
Clark had 15 of them last year.
He had one already this year.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. Hey, today's episode of Baseball Today, it is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip, so why not make the most of it? With over 4,000 hotels worldwide, Best Western is there for every detour, destination, and unexpected twist and turn along the way. You know, a great stay isn't just about where you sleep. It's about where the journey takes you next. And when you stay 3 nights at Best Western, you're going to receive a $50 gift card for use for your next stay. Best Western, I get it. Traveling isn't one size fits all. So whether you're looking for the next great adventure, maybe some time to unwind, making memories with friends and family, Best Western helps you achieve your travel goals. And it doesn't matter if you're flying solo, with your friends, maybe the entire roster, Best Western has got you covered. So pack your bag, queue up the playlist, book more of what matters most. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. All right, we got a World Series rematch jump starting tonight. 3-game set between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. It'll be north of the border. Wroblewski and Scherzer to get the 3-game set going. Dodgers come in red hot. They swept the series at Washington over the weekend. They are leading the National League West. James, the Jays are a few games back in the East, and it's been a rough last week for them. They dropped 2 of 3 against Colorado. Then they got swept on the south side, and the skipper, he ain't happy.
Whether it's April, whether it's October or November, those mistakes can't happen. You know, we're 8 games into the season, and I feel like we've had some games that scream not us. And when we play us, we're good. So we got to get back to it. You know, and when you're kind of hitting a little bit of you know, there's been some things that are magnified. You know, the more you dwell on it and the more you say, woe is me, the worse you're going to get, you know. So they're very well aware of the standard that is set here and the expectations that we hold and what we think is important. But it's a fine line of panicking and screaming at guys. You know, I think we've really set the tone here to where, hey, this is what we expect, and if you're not doing it, someone else will get a chance to do it.
Well, that was following Saturday's loss, and then Sunday, those words didn't exactly inspire the troops as they got blanked 3-0 by Chicago. So is this just a question of kind of a shaky start, or is it possible they're feeling the pressure of what it's like to be the hunted instead of the hunter?
I think I'm still giving them some leeway where I'll call it a shaky start. You know, offensively, you can go there because, you know, the guys that they're counting on, Addison Barger to take the step forward this year, he hasn't done it. Dalton Varsho has had a poor start to the year. George Springer, who was so good for them last year, has had a poor start to the year. And now they lose Alejandro Kirk, who is also struggling. So you can kind of chalk that up like, hey, like the bats will come around. It's cold. We're figuring it out. But the thing that's plagued them a little bit more, which I think is what Schneider's talking about, is like their defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of that's my guy Heineman, who, you know, had a rough go in this series. It's a bad base running by him as well. But Varsho we're showing right here. I think there's a lot of that. This one's tough right here on Heineman because you got Vladdy on deck.
Yeah, we're showing the play where they scored on a sac fly. Heineman was trying to move from second to third and got thrown out at third to end the inning with Vladdy in the on-deck circle. And Schneider came out and said, that cannot happen.
It cannot happen. There's just no reason. Murakami, I guess, shout out, heads-up play right there, cutting the ball off, going to third. But I think that's more what we're talking about. Base running and defense just have to be better for them. And here, like, Clement starts a good play, and then Heineman they don't clear the lane. And it's actually him and Clement. You got to clear the lane. I guess they tried to a little bit, not enough in my opinion, and you get the overthrow. So offensively, slow start. Don't care too much about that. But it's the defense, it's the base running, and honestly, a little bit of the injury bug too. That makes it feel a little different, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Obviously, a lot of the injury has been with their starting rotation, right? Your boy Ponce, unfortunately, is going to be gone for a long, long time. We don't, Bieber was supposed to throw this weekend. I didn't see how that went for him. Barrios, we don't know exactly when he's coming back. Savage, it's the same thing. So they've got just a lot of moving parts up in the air. With all that being said, if they end up winning tonight and beating the Dodgers, they're going to be 5-5, which is exactly what they were through 10 games. So, yes, I do think that there's different sort of pressure because last year they actually got off to a really slow start, if I remember correctly, through the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. Then they just kind of kicked it into a different gear. But we weren't focused on the Toronto Blue Jays last year. We just weren't until it was like August, and you're like, damn, this team really has got some talent. And, hey, they just picked up Shane Bieber, and when he's healthy, he could help them down the stretch. But we were always focused on the Yankees, on the Red Sox, and on Baltimore to see if they could turn it around after a shitty start. So there were 3 other teams in that division that we were like, oh, that cute little team north of the border, they'll be fine. Whatever. They've always had a lot of talent. Maybe they'll make the playoffs. Maybe they'll win a game, which they hadn't done in a decade or whatever. So now we're all focused.
Yeah.
Now we pay attention to every move that the Blue Jays make, and that's okay. That's good for them.
There's probably a little bit more pressure on that offense because people now regard it as like, hey, they found something special here. Like they got that great mix of contact and power, and the expectations are much higher. Especially, it doesn't really matter in the clubhouse, but I don't know. Some guys, you have a good year, you want to continue to do that. You start to press if you don't. If you struggle early on, you wonder, hey, was it a fluke year last year for me? Am I that guy really? And then, those questions start to enter your head. I think they'll be fine offensively. I do.
Yeah, I mean, the 3 things the Blue Jays were built on last year that you could count on regardless of what was happening at the plate or even on the mound was their base running, their defense, and the cohesive unit that they had become. Right? What was the selling point that every Blue Jays fan told us in the offseason was guys love it there. Heck, you heard it from Max Scherzer and his wife in the offseason, and they have had plenty of stops in recent years. They have plenty to compare it to. They loved it. For God's sakes, their 8 or 9-year-old daughter wrote a letter saying, please, I want daddy to go back to Toronto. And so that is all part of the deal. Right? That's part of what they have built their philosophy on, and it just has kind of reared its ugly head the first 10-plus days of the season. What do you think?
There's no panic in me about the Blue Jays.
No, there's not. But it's just, something you need to talk about when the defending American League champs just feel off. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like tonight with the Dodgers in town?
Should be great.
Fun.
It should be great, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, latest episode of Dugout Discussions was released earlier today. Freddie Freeman, who, of course, both of his parents born in Canada, had played for the WBC team in the past, couldn't do it this year. But we talk a lot about that. We talk a lot about what he expects it to be like tonight. The great commercial that he shot in the offseason with the kids from the hospital in Toronto. We found out some great backstories about that. So make sure you go check out that latest edition of Dugout Discussions. You can find it on our GM Baseball YouTube channel. So each of these teams, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, lost a big bat over the weekend. Mookie Betts to the IL with an oblique. Alejandro Kirk is going to miss time. He's going to have thumb surgery on his catching hand. Which one of those 2 is a bigger deal to their respective squad?
It's got to be Alejandro Kirk. I mean, the Dodgers were effectively without Mookie for a while last year as well. The oblique thing sucks for him, but Alejandro Kirk is one of the better bats in that lineup. And I think losing him and Heineman had a good start to the year last year. And this guy, Brandon Valenzuela, who came up, not really like the minor league career numbers don't scream, I'm going to come up and rake for you. Mm-hmm. So I think it's Kirk as a vital part of that offense. And you talk about a hand issue, a thumb. No, it wasn't a thumb. It was an index finger, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a thumb. I think it was a part right below the knuckle is what I read.
Oh, okay. First when I
Also
saw it,
was
I thought like
dislocated.
I thought it hit his finger that was sticking out of his glove.
I read thumb, but let me go.
Yeah, whatever it is, a hand injury, I mean, that affects your hitting. Like, you're having surgery on that. Coming back, it's like, that's something to monitor. I talked to on Talking Baseball about, like, last year, Imanaga, hamstring strain, wasn't the same when he came back because he didn't have that strength in his lower half. He looks better now. But, yeah, you come back from a surgically repaired hand, like, that'd be a big blow to them if he came back and wasn't the same guy.
Dislocated and broken thumb is what they list it there as. I agree with you. Now, Heineman's a guy who actually had his best season, not only at the plate, but behind the dish. The Blue Jays numbers with him he was statistically better than Alejandro Kirk. Now, that doesn't mean I want to go play 6 to 8 weeks without Kirk. And we're going to find out much more on the timetable, I would imagine, during Schneider's media availability before the game today. Hopefully they'll have a better understanding. But that dude's a baller, and I miss it. Mookie, I mean, look, a couple of years ago, what was it, 2024? He missed 46 games when he got hit on the hand. And the team went 26-20 without him. That was the time where Miggy Rowe moved to short. And when Betts came back, he moved back to the outfield. And oh, by the way, that was also the time where Ohtani moved up in the lineup to lead off, and they haven't looked back since then. I doubt all of that is going to change again, but we'll see. I mean, this team is just better equipped to deal without. It's hard to say, but
Hyun Kim back up. Is he gonna get the nod?
So he and Miggy Rowe are going to split time at short. They want to keep Freeland at second, is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
We'll see how that all goes. Before we move on, good job, Chicago White Sox. I know that you're probably sitting there saying, why aren't you talking about us? You're right. You're right. You deserve some love. You won some games in funky ways, but that's great. I mean, based on what's happened there the last couple of years, you deserve every W you get.
Well, they took advantage of mistakes, which
Totally.
good teams do. They played better defense.
Mhm.
They're getting the timely hitting. If you watch game 2, Toronto brings in Brendan Little to face like a little lefty row there, Murakami and Colson Montgomery, and they fucking go up top. Both of them.
Yeah.
Like that's what's a welcome sign. There's fun things happening in Chicago.
Yeah,
for sure.
No question. Davis Martin, really good job, by the way. For the White Sox. I think it was 6 shutout innings on Sunday.
Sean Burke came in. He pitched really well for them.
Yeah, that's good. Blue Jay fans, I know you're always vocal in the comments. So what's your level of concern with this team? Obviously, tonight it'll be 10 games in. We understand that. When we talk about baseball in April, like, how can you be concerned? We're about to talk about another team that's struggling in a few minutes as well, but everything is relative at this time of year. We understand. In the meantime, let's flip the script and talk about some positivity in the world of baseball. What a weekend in Pittsburgh, PA. Baseball's number 1 prospect finally made his debut on Friday. He certainly looked comfortable in that first at bat.
Left center field, carrying and in the gap. Konnor Griffin into second. Runner waved. Here's the throw. 1-0. Do you believe it?
Another great call. You could see his family celebrating up there in the suite. Unfortunately, that was his lone hit over the weekend. What do you smirk? I know you're smirking. What are you smirking about?
No, nothing at all. I'm happy for the guy. Just was, first hits are awesome, especially getting it out of the way right away. He played some good defense. We're showing it right there.
Yeah, he's a monster, man. The size of him at 19 years old.
19's crazy.
I know he does. There's some guys that are really tall when they come up, like A-Rod. He looked a little on the lanky side. This guy, he looks like a dude.
He does look like a dude. I mean, he is a dude.
Wow.
Mississippi boy, right?
Yeah. Already married at 19, by the way.
Didn't another Mississippi guy just got signed? Is it Cooper Pratt? Is he also from Mississippi that the Brewers just signed?
Yeah, is he from Mississippi?
I think so.
Why don't you look that up? It's pretty good. So the Pirates overall, they've won 5 straight. I want you to get a bite at this apple. How much can one player change a franchise?
A lot. I mean, a lot, because I think with this going on, it's not just one player. It's you have Paul Skeens and you have this pitching staff. So like you have pitching. Now, one offensive player like Griffin can come up and inspire ownership to say, let's build our offense around him as well. So they did that. I think a lot of this is Paul Skeens, not Griffin. Like most of it's Paul Skeens, not Griffin, because that gave them Paul Skeens being as good as he is has given them hope, and they went out and signed Brandon Lau, and they went out and signed O'Hearn. Both those guys have been incredible for the Pirates early on. So I think it's more on him. But then if Griffin does come up and is the guy they expect him to be offensively, that continues that, okay, well, now let's add more. Let's add more. We have a nucleus here. We have a team. So I guess I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth now. Like it's not just him, but he can change things if he is the guy that they think he is. Mm-hmm. But I do really believe that this ball started getting rolling because of Paul Skeens.
Yeah, just to clarify something, Brandon Lau, they traded for him. O'Hearn was a free agent signing. But you're right. I mean, they made the moves in order to bring in guys who had successful careers and that they'd have to pay a little bit more money to. And, we're still waiting for the contract extension to become official, right? The reports are out there, 9 years and $140 million. And I talked about on Friday with Dalton on the show, it was that what he does is he changes the mentality of the fan base here. Because even when Skeens got up, everybody was talking, including us, about the borrowed time, that you're not going to be able to afford Paul Skeens. And that's probably still going to be very true. Like, I think the train is way too far down the tracks at this point. Like, we all expect Paul Skeens to be playing in a different uniform, whether that's before his 6-year tenure in Pittsburgh is up or not. And unfortunately, that's going to be part of the narrative. The minute they extend Konnor Griffin, it changes the mentality of the fan base there. I use the example, how nice is it going to be for a parent to be able to buy their kid who's 9 or 10 a Konnor Griffin jersey, and they're going to be able to wear it to their high school graduation? Like, that's awesome. Well, maybe not graduation, maybe the after party. You understand what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, aren't you going to grow from when you're 9 or 10 to when you're in high school?
Never.
Okay.
Not one bit.
Okay.
Why are you ruining a good moment like that?
I mean, all right.
Can't you understand
I know what you're saying. Maybe buy a jersey.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I should try on one of my old jerseys.
Shop.johnboymedia.com has Konnor Griffin jerseys right now.
Yeah. Good work.
I assume.
Before you derailed my thought process. You understand what I'm getting at.
I know what you're saying. I think this guy means a lot to the organization. I just think it's not just him that's going to change.
No.
It's Skeens there, plus Bubba Chandler, plus Ashcraft, plus Keller, who's kind of like started this whole damn thing being good. Like, the rotation allows them to say, hey, if we get some offense, we'll be pretty good. They bring in guys that are performing well. Forrest Griffin comes in, is the guy. Or Forrest Griffin. Konnor Griffin comes in, is the guy.
Who's Forrest Griffin?
I don't know. Is that somebody? Is that a football player?
I don't know. Type it into your computer. Find out who Forrest Griffin is. I'm dying to know.
Somebody embarrassing.
Don't worry. We won't edit it out. Who is Forrest Griffin?
Oh, he's a MMA fighter.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was just in deep in my mind. Right,
hey, that could have gone a really, really bad direction if you had typed it in and be like, oop. That's not who it is.
What? Why?
Well, you said it could have. I'm about to be embarrassed, so I was curious.
Well, it could be like somebody like I knew from back in the day, or
is that what it was? That's not embarrassing.
Okay,
there's things that are way more embarrassing.
But yeah, he's in a line of events that have been good for Pittsburgh that are changing what we're thinking about that franchise.
The last 50 years, there have been just 2 all-star shortstops to have donned a Pittsburgh Pirates uniform. Do you know who they are?
2 all-star shortstops from the Pirates.
Who played for the Pirates. That's it. In the last 5 decades, only 2 guys.
Would I know one of them? Like,
you would know both of their names. In fact, you have met one of them, and one of them is very much attached still to Major League Baseball because he might have a son who is also an all-star shortstop.
I don't know.
Jack Wilson.
Oh, wow.
That's one.
Okay.
And the other one was Jay Bell. You know that name?
I know the name.
Okay,
I
Jay
wouldn't have got
Bell.
it. Jack Wilson I could have got.
Yeah, Jay Bell eventually won a World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is a great answer to part of a sports riddle. My then Indians traded for him from Minnesota and gave up Bert Blyleven.
Oh, nice.
Jay Bell's first career homer was hit off of Bert Blyleven.
Love that.
Isn't that great?
Love that.
Might have even been in his first at bat as a big leaguer.
Jay Bell. Nice.
Yeah. Had a long career. I think he played like 17 or 18 years.
I have this newspaper article that like my mom brought over some stuff. And for some reason, my daughter just had this like in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a newspaper article from when I was a freshman in high school. Famed sports writer Eric Sonheimer of the LA Times was writing about me and a couple other guys, like young freshman kids. So it's my picture. And then right below that, it's a picture of Jack Wilson.
That's so amazing.
Cool. Yeah, I got to get that. Next episode, we'll have that on there.
You never played. When did Target Field open?
2010. I didn't play in the Metrodome.
But did you ever take BP in the Metrodome? Like after you got drafted?
No.
You know, they bring in the.
No,
you didn't get your chance as a first rounder to hit?
No, I went straight to the freaking short season, bro.
Yeah, but you know how they do that? They draft guys and then they have them in and they get like for a day they hang around the big league squad like, hey, this is the carrot.
We did not do that.
Oh, what a bummer. You never got to hit in the Metrodome?
No.
Oh,
no.
What a tough place to watch a game.
Yeah.
Impossible to call.
Some people loved it.
Yeah, but brutal. Hard to call a game in that building.
I'm sure.
Particularly when you weren't very good at it like me. Today's episode, sponsored by MLB 9 Innings. Hey, if you're somebody who's always checking the scores or thinking about your lineup, this is one of those games that fits right into your day. MLB 9 Innings lets you build your own team with over 2,000 player cards, and everything is fully up to date. Talking about rosters, talking about uniforms, ballparks, all of it. And, of course, Major League Baseball trademark used with permission. Now, there are a bunch of ways to play as well. You can grind through a full season in league mode or jump live into PvP if you want more of a challenge. They've also added some awesome historic players like Plouffe's old teammate, Joe Mauer's there, Hoyt Wilhelm, the recently retired Clayton Kershaw, Jim Thomey's there, Barry Larkin, and seriously, if you haven't seen the new trailer yet, it's worth a look. Check it out on YouTube. Download and play MLB 9 Innings 26 today using the link in the description. You'll thank me for all of the fun you're having. When was the last time you talked to Joe Mauer?
Oh, I got to look at our text. We always kind of are going probably like less than a month ago. Why?
Just curious.
You want to go? You want to look?
No, I mean, you don't have to. Yeah.
We're actually, we're supposed to, they're planning on going back out there. There's a Savannah Bananas game at Target Field. There's a concert. So they wanted us to come out and bring the kids. I am calling games during that. So I think Olivia is going to go out there and hang with them, and I gotta work.
So they wanted you to maybe be one of the Savannah Banana guys that pops in and starts, walking down through the crowd. Please welcome former Twins third baseman number 24, Trevor Plouffe.
Nobody's from the Savannah Bananas has reached out to me. No. So
maybe it should happen.
I think some of those guys, I'm sure Mauer will. Last time I talked to him was March 18th. We were talking about Larry Fitzgerald.
What do you got?
I mistakenly grabbed Larry Fitzgerald's golf clubs from the airport and took them home with me. We had the same bag.
When was this?
Right after the WBC. I flew home exhausted. I ended recording our episode at midnight or later. I think later at the field. Had a 6 a.m. flight. Had to get there early because the airports were a mess. I was exhausted when I got home. Same travel bag the golf clubs are in. The lady picks up the bag. I said, "It's my bag." She goes, "What's your name?" I give her my name. She looks at the tag, gives me the bag. I don't think twice about it. I just take it. I get in my car. I go home. Turns out Larry Fitzgerald needed his clubs.
How does this happen? How does he track you down?
So when I got home, I saw that it was Larry Fitzgerald. I'm like, oh, God. I feel terrible about this. I think he was in town to do that flag football game.
Oh,
so there was a number on the bag. I called it. It was his assistant. And she ended up coming and getting the clubs for me. So
wow.
Larry had to play around at LA Country Club, which is like one of the most exclusive country clubs in Los Angeles with rental clubs. I feel bad.
Oh my God. What an amazing story. You had Larry Fitzgerald's golf clubs.
Yeah. So I was texting Joe. I was like, man, I have your boy Larry's I don't have his number. Like, tell him that I'll get him this. I'll drive it to him if he needs me to. I feel so bad.
For people that don't know, Larry Fitzgerald grew up in Minneapolis. His dad, well-renowned sports writer up there, used to cover the teams. There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great
funny
one. That is a great one.
He plays a lot of golf. I'm sure.
How nice were the sticks?
I didn't look at them.
Come on.
I wanted to, but I figured I was also very tired. I was like exhausted.
Should have grabbed the driver, just swung it a little bit in the backyard.
Should have.
Maybe the putter.
Snapped it.
No. That's now Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he's a
call on that one. Easy call. All right, let's move on. Oh, sorry, Red Sox fans. Worst record in baseball belongs to you guys. 2-7. Dropped their home opening series to San Diego, and the fans were letting ownership have it. Give it a listen.
This is just a tough stretch, and we need to find a way to just bring more energy and just be better. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the fans. It's unacceptable to the standard that we set for ourselves.
So that was fan chants of sell the team going into a Roman Anthony interview. We get it. It's early. So should the Sox fans just chill out, or do they have a right to be upset with what they've seen after just 10 days?
Oh, I don't think Boston cares what I say. I think they're going to be upset no matter what, which is fine. I think they have reasons to be upset because I don't think it's just the 2-7 record. Obviously, that helps a lot with it. You know, the offense hasn't been there. Some of the starting pitching, Ranger Suarez hasn't been great. They played some sloppy baseball as well, which is kind of like they've done that for a couple of years now, especially in the infield. I think there's just more to it. I think it's just like a sequence of events that's led to this. You know, a lot of people are not happy with their owner. You can go back to the Mookie Betts trade if you really wanted to. It's just been this event of Mookie getting traded. Okay, well, we'll see what happens there. And then it's seeing Mookie go do things in LA. And then it's the Devers trade. It's bringing in Bregman, but then not bringing him back. All these things. You think you're going to get Pete Alonso. You don't get Pete Alonso. Like all these things happen. And they end up having like a decent offseason. But fans are like, hey, man, like we're not acting like we should act. And then you have what's going on here. I think it's a culmination of all those things. They can feel however they want. Do I think the Red Sox are going to end the season with 100 losses? No. But as of right now, like they've been playing poorly, and the organization has not given the fans what they want, which is like going out and signing guys, keeping your good players. They haven't done that at all. They've acted like a small market team, which they're not.
Well, they're also complaining about the names of James Tibbs and Kyle Harrison. And if you're like, wait, what? Well, James Tibbs is one of the guys, a former first-round pick of the Giants that they got in the Devers deal. And then they turned him around and traded him to the Dodgers last year for 2 months of a subpar Dustin May. And Kyle Harrison, of course, was the centerpiece of one of the trades that brought Durbin from Milwaukee. And now, you know, for years we had heard his name out in San Francisco. Like, is he finally going to figure it out? Well, his first 2 starts have been very good for his new team in Milwaukee. And so everything is being looked at by the Red Sox fan base. It's what they specialize in, being petty. It is what has made them the fan base that they are. And Red Sox fans will own up to it. They're like, yeah, That's exactly what we are. And when you end up winning, what is it, 4 world championships since 2004, then you're going to nitpick. And that's how we do it. It wasn't just good enough to go break an 86-year curse. Now we start getting on a roll and we start winning. We start lapping the field on some of these teams, including our arch rival. Then, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to bitch and moan and complain. And yes, they're complaining about ownership, which does spend money, but they're not doing it the right way. And so every move is going to be scrutinized. And Craig Breslow is going to, catch heat just the same way that Chaim Bloom caught heat when he was making the decisions up there in Boston. That's how they live. They live sometimes to be miserable up there in Boston. It's just the way it goes with the fan base. And so, yeah, if I'm going to sit here and say, just calm down, they're going to say, Rose, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
It's not what we do. But I will point this out, Trevor. This is just the 6th time since 1950 that the team has started 2-7 or worse through 9 games. And I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but from what I saw, not once did they make the playoffs any of those years.
It's also the worst record in baseball right now. That hurts.
Yes, it is.
That hurts them. Can you do a Boston accent for me?
Oh, God, no.
You don't have that?
I could do a lot of voice imitation and stuff, but I'm not a Pac de Ca guy. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean,
Okay.
Everybody's got that one. How you like them apples, stuff like that. I don't know.
You got to work on that. We're going to need a call back on your Boston accent at some point this season, okay?
Do you have any close friends that are Boston fans?
Just Zoe, my close friend.
Zoe. Zoe's a good one.
Hey,
Rose. We haven't played very well this year. I mean, they're frustrating to watch. How's that? No?
That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think I do. I have to think about it. Tim Leahy, my former roommate from Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see where it goes from there. They got Oviedo's getting his arm checked out. Ranger Suarez needs to check in.
Caleb Durbin's been bad.
He's been horrible. The left side of the infield, Story and Durbin, a combined 7 for 70 with 2 extra base hits so far.
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done. And it wasn't like Alex Cora. Somebody asked him about keeping him up, hitting second in the lineup. He's like, I still like Trevor Story as a ball player. What? That's not what was asked. Just answer the question. Either, hey, you know what? We'll think about it, or no, I'm keeping him there. I still like Trevor Story as a baseball player. That was weird. A couple other things from this series. What do we say about Mason Miller? He struck out the side again yesterday. He has recorded 13 outs for the Padres, 11 via the strikeout. Why are we making a bigger deal about him?
I think we kind of are. I don't know. He's filthy. I thought Jake just gave his award to Mason Miller, talking about the exact same thing you just said. Like, should we be making a bigger deal? He said, you start naming the best closers in the game. You say, okay, we got Mason Miller, we got Edwin Diaz, we got Yohan Duran, we got, Aroldis Chapman was great last year. He's like, none of those guys are even close,
right,
to what Mason Miller's done.
What's the gap between him and the next best closer?
It's pretty sizable. I mean, he's. I mentioned this to Jake. Nobody's on the offensive against him. Like, nobody's taking good hacks against him. It's all like, I just want to put the ball in play. And I think right now it's 18.2 K per 9.
Well, it's not only that. He has saved all 4 of the Padres wins, and those are his 4 appearances. He's thrown 60 pitches. 6-0, and he's striking out all these dudes. Are guys just not able? What is it? Have you ever talked to people about facing him, and can they just not see it, catch up to it?
Yeah, I think it's just the stuff. It's the funk. It's the extension. A little bit of everything. 26 games as a Padre. Yeah, it's a 0.7 WHIP, a 0.68 ERA, and an 18.2 K per 9.
That's ridiculous.
I wonder what they end up doing with him. Like, he's got a ton of control left. If things aren't going the way they want them to go over the next few years, I know they got a ton of talent locked up there already. So, you kind of think they'd want to keep him. But if he continues to do this, I mean, if you wanted to replenish your farm system, which you decimated to get him.
They gave up a top 5 prospect in Leo DeVries. Top 5, a shortstop prospect.
A shortstop, yeah.
I mean, that's...
I want the Padres to be good, so I'm not even going to talk about that.
Okay. One other thing from that game yesterday, did you see Manny Machado, the play at first base, where I'm going to say the ball hit his foot.
He kicked it. Oh, he kicked that.
What should the umpire have called there?
There's nothing you can really call.
Wilson, look at Wilson Contreras. He's like, dude, he just kicked the ball. You can't do that. Can we reset the shot clock like we do in the NBA?
I think it happens so quickly, in real time, that I don't think that's not a challengeable play. So that's the only thing is you have to call it in real time. He 1000% did it on purpose, though. Yeah, that's a great reaction too.
It is
so good, so good.
That's the sort of face that MJD gave me when I said that clip that went viral on NFL Network. That's the exact same look. I've seen that look.
That's good.
All right. That was a big series win for the Padres because they could have very easily been the topic of discussion instead of the Red Sox today.
Yeah, they came into that playing similar as poorly. They've both been playing poorly.
Yeah. That was the battle to see who's topic number 4. You lose the series, you're topic number 4 on baseball today. It's not a great way to go. We still got a ton to get to. There's probably 5 or 6 quick-hitting topics we got to get to right after this.
Baseball is here, people. The days are getting longer. The sun is back out, and baseball season is finally upon us. Baseball is a game of inches. The result of a game hinges on 1,000 little moments, and momentum can shift quickly. That's why we decided to team up with Fanatics Markets, the trusted home for real-time sports prediction markets. It's simple. Just pick a game and choose an outcome, like which team will win, which player will hit a home run, and more. It's time to get involved in the action. Then you buy contracts based on what you think will happen. Yes, if you think it will. No, if you don't. Buy as many as you want. Sell if the price moves in your favor, or let them settle when the event ends. From opening day to the Fall Classic, no matter who you root for, Fanatics Markets is right there with you. So join the Baseball Today family on Fanatics Markets. Event contracts carry a risk of total loss and changing prices. Not good for all investors. Not available in all states. Must be 21 plus. See important disclosures in Fanatics Markets app. Customers are introduced to Crypto.com by Paragon Global Markets, LLC, DBA Fanatics Markets IB, an introducing broker registered with the CFTC and a member of the NFA.
All right. We are going to continue the show out in Anaheim, where the Angels are feeling good, not just because they won 2 out of 3 against the defending division champion Seattle Mariners, but because they got good news on Mike Trout. He got hit on the hand on Sunday. X-rays were negative. There was massive swelling. He talked to reporters after the game. He said he was actually feeling a bit better, and he'll see how he's doing as they get ready to face off against Chris Sale and the Atlanta Braves on Monday night. This actually dates back to Friday night when Brian Wu, in a single at bat, threw one near Trout's head and then actually hit him up top as well. Wu did apologize to Trout a little bit later in the game. Now, these two teams don't square off against one another until late June. And I know you don't adhere to the old, hey, they take one of ours, we got to take one of them. But when Mike Trout's getting thrown at and hit as much as he did by Seattle, do you think that 2.5 months down the line that something could happen?
Well, they already did that first game.
Yeah, with Julio.
They threw behind. Detmers threw behind him. I mean, that is.
I hate that. If you're going to hit somebody,
I gotta think about my take again on that. It's so constant with some hitters that it sucks, and I don't like hitting. I don't like retaliating because what did Julio do? Nothing except be good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there needs to be some sort of protection for your guys, but it sucks for the other team's hitters because you're like, dude, they didn't do anything. I was when I saw that happen the first game of that series, I was trying to conjure up some sort of rule. Like if you're a pitcher and maybe every 2 or 3 guys you hit, you need to go get hit. Like you need to bring a jugs machine out and you have to stand in there and take 95 and just you get hit. Because what else can we do?
Oh, I love it. The public shaming that's the route you're going.
It actually never used to happen either. Like pitchers, that was like a code, like they didn't hit each other, which is crazy to me. Like that should have been who got hit in those games when we had the National League. But I don't know what the deterrence is. Like Shohei gets balls up and in all the time as well. Mike Trout always gets balls up and in. Like I understand you have to be able to pitch to that part of the plate, but if you can't fucking do it, don't do it, or find a way to do it. So like I don't know. There needs to be something, man. And I don't. Obviously, they're not going to do the jugs machine one, but I would like that. I think I think that would deter a lot of pitchers. Tell you that much.
We could sell if baseball's looking for another revenue stream. Like today at 3:00, we're taking all of the pitchers who have been bad boys.
Yeah.
And on the field before the game, we're going to have, it's essentially like baseball's version of tar and feather.
I am kind of a firing squad guy, for being honest.
Oh my God, where are we going?
Yeah, some people, Chris.
We're never going to figure this out, but this is like gangster movie type stuff, because when they call and they say, "You do that shit again, I'm going to come after your family," and that's what they do. They're coming after your baseball family. So it's not, when you say I don't understand it, we do understand it. We see it in the movies, we see it in our sports.
I think there needs to be some sort of repercussion, but it sucks that it's like the guy that's a good hitter on the other team, and all he's doing is just doing his job.
No, the family. It's the family. Well,
that guy that gets hit should be able to sucker punch the pitcher. I don't know.
Do the game where slap him across the face. That crazy sport that people are doing.
I think we've talked about this before. There's a hilarious clip out there of Delman Young getting hit and then immediately going and just yelling at the Twins dugout. And he was yelling at Jose Majares because Jose Majares had hit somebody, and Delman hated getting hit more than anybody I've ever met in my life. And that's what it's truly like. If your pitcher hits somebody for no reason because the guy hits well against them, and it's a clearly blatant, like up and in, whatever, and then you get retaliated against, you're pissed at your pitcher.
So he yelled at your teammate?
Oh, it's so good. It's out there. I'll have to find it.
That is a good one.
I don't know.
I've seen guys.
These pitchers need something.
I've seen guys like Brian McRae. Do you remember Brian McRae, old outfielder? His dad, Hal, of course, was a badass and did some crazy shit on the baseball diamond. And as a manager, you can go spin up the YouTube clips on that one. He got hit one time, I believe in Kansas City, ran over, I want to say, to the Texas Rangers dugout and started yelling at their manager, Kevin Kennedy. I mean, sprinted. He got hit, sprinted to the other dugout, started yelling at him, blasting him.
Yeah.
You baseball players.
It's got to be something, man. I don't know.
It's good stuff, though, man. Fun. You know what? We have a great, intelligent community out there. Why don't you decide how can we stop this stuff? What should we see? Should we
every 3 guys you hit, you should have to take a jugs machine fastball and just wear it.
What part of the body?
Whatever. It's gonna come. It's coming at you. You got to stay in the box, but turn in.
Crucky always told me on Best Damn that they never teach young players how to get hit by a pitch. I think he only got hit by 2 or 3 in his career. He said, that's because I knew how to get out of the way. He said they don't teach young kids how to get out of the way now.
I mean, he also was like an incredible hitter with incredible vision. Like
he was also a significantly better athlete than people gave him credit for.
Yeah.
Dude, he used to
and
play
he's a lefty. Those you don't get coming from the right side a lot.
He used to play on our Best Damn softball team occasionally. What are you doing?
I have my mail up because I have your sheet in there, and I just my former AAA manager just passed away, Tom Nieto.
Oh, Tom Nieto?
Yeah, he's young.
Oh,
he was I loved him as a manager. He's the guy that told me I was going to the big leagues for the first time.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's
really sad. 65 years old.
Yeah, that's like my era as far as. Hold on. Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry, this guy just saw it flash in my.
Yeah, he passed away on Friday. I didn't know about that. Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah, I like
he
him a
was
lot.
he was a catcher for the Cardinals. He played in some of those World Series teams. At least one.
Yeah, he was.
I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Condolences. All right, we're going to continue on with this game that we love. The Reds sweep down in Arlington, Texas, thanks to some great pitching. There's been no Hunter Green yet. There's been no Nick Lodolo yet. He's trying to figure out what's going on with those blisters on his hand. How impressed are you with this Reds squad?
Pitching for sure. They've had some timely hitting as well. Ellie De La Cruz, some long balls early on. But yeah, like Rhett Lauder's looked really good. I mean, he's been good the entire time that he's been in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Chase Burns taking that next step. Andrew Abbott's still kind of doing his thing. I mean, when they score, 5 runs, like a lot of times they're going to win that game. They're still kind of searching for that complete offense. But yeah, I mean, that was there. We knew the pitching staff was going to be a strength coming into the year, and you're right. We haven't had Hunter Green or Lodolo yet, and they've still been able to do it. So yeah, they've been good.
On Friday's show, we said if there was one ticket that you could buy to a game to watch a pitching matchup, what would it be? And I said it was Burns against Leiter on Sunday, and I think I nailed that one.
Yeah,
Jack Leiter
really great.
Continues to throw the ball exceptionally well. Chase Burns, 9 Ks, 1 run through 6 innings. So he's given up 1 run in 11 innings so far. Lauder, you mentioned, through 2 starts, a 1.64 ERA and a 1.3 ERA in his 8 big league starts. It's the 5th lowest mark by any major league pitcher through his first 8 in the expansion era. That's since 1961. Yeah, they got good stuff going on. Yeah, just a little offense, boys.
Little offense. That's all we're looking for.
Dude, that NL Central's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I think there's 4 teams over 500 right now.
Good.
And the Cubs are the only one that isn't.
Right. Both of our selections, I do believe. Your buddy Brent Rooker, huge Sunday.
I took the Brewers, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I took the Cubs.
I think I always take the Brewers to win the division.
Yeah, I took the Cubs, but I did have the Brewers making the playoffs.
Okay.
So Milwaukee, don't hate me this year. Oh, well, you can. It's up to you. Rooker, couple of homers on Sunday, including a walk-off job. So this is the one earlier in the game. That's a 2-run shot. That's nice. Nice to see them back in Sacramento. Here's the game winner. And the most interesting part about that is that Brian Abreu, who's, out there trying to close it off for Houston, he can't even walk back to the dugout because they're in a minor league ballpark. He's got to walk out to center field. How much worse does that make giving up the home run?
It's pretty bad. Yeah. It's called the walk of shame. That happens for another reason quite often.
What is that, Trevor?
I took a few walk of shames back in my day, no doubt about it, dude.
Sounds like you're Arizona proud State. Of it, to be honest with you.
It's tough. We talked about that when I was with the Twins broadcast about it's like you're losing a game or like a manager gets ejected and you're like, well, I got to walk all the way to center field. And especially a guy like Abreu, he's got nothing to go back into the dugout for.
He's already got his mitt.
He doesn't need his fucking batting gloves or whatever. Sorry, I shouldn't have cursed there. That was unnecessary. Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's tough go. It's a long walk. It's okay, buddy. All right, a couple of injuries. Cade Horton of the Cubs, Hunter Brown of the Astros both ended up on the IL. How nervous would you be if you were a fan of the Cubs and the Astros today?
I think for the Cubs, at least you got some other guys twirling the pill. You got Edward Cabrera throwing well. I mentioned Shota Imanaga. Nice start there. So he looks decent. You have some more pitching depth there, whereas Houston's still trying to find it. I know Amaya had a good start. But beyond that, we're kind of like, what's going on? McCullers is also one good start, then one not so good start. So I think for the Astros, there was this, hey man, the band's back together. The offense has been incredible. Jordan's doing it. You want Hunter Brown to anchor your rotation. I think I'd be more worried if I was an Astros fan than a Cubs fan.
So I think emotionally you were hoping that Cade Horton would turn into what Hunter Brown turned into last year, which was a Cy Young contender. I'm a top 3 guy and awesome. And it's a shoulder thing. They're hoping it's not horrible. Horton, I think, is a little bit more unknown. They sent him back for tests. He's got a forearm issue. This is a guy who, when he was at the University of Oklahoma, had Tommy John surgery. He's already battled plenty of injuries, missed most of 24 with a shoulder. He had the freaky rib injury that he suffered in his last start of the regular season. He missed their playoff run last year. So we're just hoping that Cade Horton, because he was one of the baseball's best pitchers in the second half last season, that unfortunately the narrative is as much about his injury history and what he's going through now as it is about his performance on the field. And that's not what you're looking for. As far as a team that's better equipped, yeah, they've got Ray, they've got Ben Brown there. Guys already on the major league roster. Houston's going to have to figure out how they deal with Brown's injury. He was, I think, slated to start tonight. And then they've got guys they think can help them out, but not totally proven at this level on a consistent basis. We'll see. And I heard that Houston was thinking of going to a 6-man rotation when they start a 13 games in 13 days streak coming up. I think you can probably throw that one out the window, I would guess. We'll see. Jazz Chisholm. Look, the Yankees took 2 out of 3 against Miami. That was good. But it was bad what happened on Saturday, I believe. This is in the 9th inning. You would think that this would be an easy out. And it's not. The Marlins ended up loading the bases against David Bednar. Jazz just kind of took his time, waited, and infield single. I guess.
I don't love it. I mean, I think there was a little bit of a bobble, but when that happens, usually you kick into gear like, I better hammer that throw to first base. And he still like nonchalanted the throw. So, I mean, it's a bad look and a bad outcome. I mean, yeah, Bednar had to really work there to get that save. And it's not what you do your job as a pitcher, routine ground ball. You got to know the runner, all those things. Not a great look for Jazz, but.
Is it blown up too much because it's Jazz and the Yankees? Like if this had happened to the Colorado Rockies, do we even talk about it today?
If they ended up winning the game, probably not.
Well, the Yankees ended up winning the game.
I know. So yeah, I think it is partly just because it's Jazz and we kind of, I don't know. There's expectations on him. He's done some things that have put him on, that have put expectations on himself. And then I think the Yankees logo helps a lot with that.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with all of that. And Aaron Boone talked to him about it. And by the way, Caballero did not run out a ball that was hit to, I think it was Chris Paddock, who had a hard time fielding it. It was like right to him, looked like a relatively easy play, but he kind of pitchered it. And Caballero didn't bust it until halfway down the line. Might have cost himself a hit. So we've seen that a couple times with the Yankees early going. Finally, congratulations to the Washington Nationals, who turned 21 over the weekend. They had their first game as the Washington National franchise. Of course, they moved from Montreal 21 years ago over the weekend. So they brought out a young lady named Sorka Lewis, who also turned 21 on that very day. And she had a ceremonial first sip of beer, that is. So there's young Sorka. She's waving to the crowd, and they're making the announcements to everybody. Hey, the Nationals are turning 21. Here she is. She's 21. Cute pictures and everything. Dan, let's scroll forward to the good parts here.
I need to see the sip. I need to see the sip.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Here's the first sip. And yeah, Sorka, I'm going to just place a bet. Not her first sip.
If you have kids listening, earmuffs, 1, 2, 3. Nobody waits till they're 21. Unless you just don't have, if it's just not in your lifestyle, like ever, which there are some people that are like that. Nobody waits till they're 21. You think Brady?
No.
Yeah.
But that was impressive. That was not I think the
Nationals. She had a few Budweisers in her day.
Yeah, I think the Nationals were expecting. Here's the first sip, like cheers. I think she might have emptied the can.
Gosh, I mean, I know when I had my first sip, it wasn't. I'm kind of ashamed to say.
Well, the first time you have beer, let's be honest, it's not good.
I kind of liked it.
The first time you had it?
Yeah. I was 14.
What?
Yeah.
Ah, Trevor.
A freshman on the varsity baseball team. These guys, I mean, talk about like hazing. Yeah. I got some stories, man.
All right. Once again, there's a new episode of Dugout Discussions with Freddie Freeman, but also there's a brand new segment that I didn't even have titled until we did it with Austin Hedges and Stephen Kwan. It is a very, very fun teammate test, essentially, where we bring mini whiteboards. We're going to be doing it with teams and keeping score on how they do throughout the year. So it's going to be team against team. And it's fun. It turned out well. Very happy with it. So check that out in the latest episode of Dugout Discussions with Chris Rose. Okay? We are back at it again on Tuesday. We can't wait to break down what happens on Monday and look ahead to Tuesday night as well. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you Tuesday here on Baseball Today.